picture. He's stuck right in the middle of traffic. Welcome. Well, good morning and welcome to the Bullitt County Fiscal Court. Today is June the 17th, and it's 9:32. We're a minute or two late. Magistrate Logsdon sent me a picture. He is stuck in traffic on I-65. So at this time, Perry, would you mind doing the invocation for us and leading us in the pledge, please, sir?
If you can please join me in prayer. Father, God, we just thank you for this beautiful community that you have given us. God, we are so thankful for all that you provide. And Lord, we just ask that you're with our leaders, that you would bless them, and you would help them as they make the decisions that impact your people. And so, God, again, we're thankful for them and their hearts to serve this community. We just ask that you bless them and watch over them. It's in your precious Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Perry. At this time, Sam, if you'd call the roll and bring the court to order, please.
Yes, sir. Vera Sanders. Present. Karen Johnson. Here. Ron Bleemel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes. Thank you. Action item number 4, the approval of minutes for the June 3rd, 2025 Bullitt County Fiscal Court meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for June 3rd, 2025.
I'll second.
Got a motion by 1st District Magistrate Sanders, a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson to approve the Bullitt County Fiscal Court meeting minutes as presented for June 3rd, 2025. Sam, call the roll.
Johnson.
Yes.
Bleemel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Treasurer's transfer report. Donna. Okay.
I make a motion to accept the treasurer's transfer report.
Second.
Got a motion by 1st District Magistrate Sanders, a second by 4th District Magistrate Bleemel to approve the Treasurer's transfer report as presented. Sam, call the roll.
Johnson.
Yes.
Bleemel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Logsdon.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Presentation, approval of all bills.
I make a motion for the presentation and approval of all bills.
Second.
Got a motion by 1st District Magistrate Sanders, a second by 4th District Magistrate Bleemel to approve the bills as presented. Sam, call the roll.
Bleemel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Logsdon.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Treasurer's report, Donna.
I'll make a motion that we approve the treasurer's transfer report as presented.
Second.
Got a motion by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson, a second by 4th District Magistrate Bleemel to approve the Treasurer's report as presented. Sam, call the roll, please.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Logsdon.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Bleemel.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Do we have anybody that's signed up? Okay.
There you are, sir.
Thank you.
Oh. Hi.
Sheila Metcalf? Yes, ma'am. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Judge Summers. I'm here to talk about your dog warden. If you've heard those words before, September the 15th, 2020, there were 3 men that stood at this podium, Mr. Katermas, Perry Robinson, and another gentleman, talked about Angie Webb Greenup, how she was continuously getting their dogs, causing them hundreds of dollars to get their animals back. Well, Mr. Wilson has been with the animal shelter since 2008. So since that happened in 2020, he had to be somewhat involved. What he did to me was illegal. Last year, I was illegally locked up, called a family member to take care of my animals. I get home, my animals are gone. I did an open records request, Mrs. Baker, and on the request of if anybody had contacted me, because there were 3 fraudulent relinquished papers on my table about my dogs. So anyway, I did the open records request, and they admitted at the Bullitt Animal Shelter that none of them ever contacted me, but Mr. Wilson tried his best to use those relinquished papers. I took him to small claims court Thursday. His attorney even tried to defend him. Finally, Mr. Wilson said, you know, Your Honor, I did have those papers. Miss Metcalf handed them to me the day she went and got the 1 dog back. He also stood there and defamed me, slandered me. His attorney admitted that the allegations that I did bring up in the small claims civil suit, I have charging him with criminal trespassing, criminal theft, and invasion of my privacy. His attorney admitted that that was not the court for that proceeding, that it would need discovery and litigation, and I agree. The judge asked me what my outcome, what I wanted for that day. I said, all I want is my animals back. Mr. Wilson proceeded to say, yes, Miss Metcalf has called me 20 times over a year and a half, and she calls at 2 o'clock in the morning. Judge Kelly asked me, said, well, Miss Metcalf, how come you call 2 o'clock in the morning? I said, because I wake up having nightmares, because we've had floods, tornadoes, and I'm dreaming that my animals are in those floods. I went through 6 months of therapy for what he's done to me. Those 3 men asked you to terminate Angie Webb Greenup's job for what she done to them, and you did that. I'm asking you to please terminate Mr. Wilson's job, replacing before this animal shelter, the new one, opens up. This is not going away. I'm not going away. Absolutely not. We just said the Pledge of Allegiance, and it said, you know, liberty and justice for all, not for some, for all. Mr. Wilson thought it was funny that I was having these nightmares, and I ordered the DVD for you, sir. I'm going to send you a copy of the DVD of the court proceeding, along with the evidence that I do have on Mr. Wilson. Also, I showed Judge Kelly where Mark Harmon, he was the auditor for Bullitt County, that the animal shelter doesn't keep its books, doesn't keep track of the money, doesn't keep track of the dogs. And this went all the way back to 2016. Mr. Wilson's been there since 2008. It went all the way up, the evidence, to 2023. We don't need this. You've worked too hard, Mr. Summers. You've worked too hard to get this animal shelter going for us, for we the people. We don't need this carried over to the new animal shelter. What I'm hoping is, I've gotten a hold of WDRB. I'm getting them involved, and I'm hoping when everything continuously that comes out, that even WDRB could say, well, you know, this happened with the old animal shelter. You know, the game warden we had there taking the dogs out back and shooting them, and then, you know, we had Miss Angie Webb, you know, stealing people's dogs and cost them hundreds of dollars to get their animals back. So we need somebody in there that's honest. We need somebody in there that cares about us, Judge Summers, that cares about our animals. The DVD, the court proceeding last Thursday, were proof that Mr. Wilson doesn't care about us.
Okay.
He doesn't care.
Okay.
So I appreciate your time,
Yes, ma'am.
and I appreciate what you've done for us.
All right. We appreciate coming in for your comments, Ms. Metcalf.
Thank you,
Okay?
sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ms. Stump from the chamber?
Good morning. I just wanted to make sure, I put an event sheet up before you all came in this morning, just to make sure that you all knew about what we have coming up. The end of the list is for July, but I just really want to focus on what we have. Next week, we have our after hours. Hopefully, we'll see some of you all there. That's going to be at Brooks Hill Winery from 4 to 6, actually this Wednesday. Then next week, we have our morning mingle at Inspirations of Mount Washington. Would love to see you all at that. And our July luncheon is going to be on the 10th. And Judge, we do have it's not open to the public, so I hate talking about it here, but we do have a ribbon cutting this morning that,
Right.
if you cannot make that, if you want to let me know, and I can
Okay.
take something on your behalf.
Yes, ma'am. I
Okay.
will.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
And I
Nita.
did put this on the back pew if anybody else is interested.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Stone.
Thank you. Okay, this is something that as a community, we're really proud of. All the folks back there in the really nice maroon shirts and the white shirts. We have our graduates here from the EMT Advanced class, members of the court, and they're here to take the oath, ethical oath of an EMT. Because what this does do for us, it allows us, to be able to, with advanced life, it's just like a paramedic. We're able to bill for advanced life, which is totally different than a regular EMT run. They're specialized in what they can do, and I can't say enough about Jason, Chris, Ricky, Rebecca. I still got to get your name down. Brandon, got it. I can remember that. So at this time, Jason, come up here. Help me here a little bit. Long story short, you're all going to have to raise your right hand. And you're not going to have to repeat after me, but by raising your right hand and me administering this oath, it's an ethical oath that you'll abide by as long as you're here with this service or any other service. Is that correct, Chris? Rebecca? Brandon? Michael? Okay. All right. So this is from the Kentucky Professional Ethics from National Association of EMTs. The professional status as an emergency medical service practitioner is maintained and enriched by the willingness of the individual practitioner to accept and fulfill obligations to society, other medical professionals, and the EMS profession. As an EMS practitioner, all of y'all say this at the same time. I solemnly pledge to the following code of professional ethics. There you go. To conserve life, alleviate suffering, promote health, do no harm, and encourage the quality and equal availability of emergency medical care. To provide services based on human need with compassion and respect for human dignity, unrestricted by the consideration of nationality, race, creed, color, or status, to not judge the merits of the patient's request for service, nor allow the patient's social economic status to influence our demeanor or the care that we provide. To not use professional knowledge and skills in any enterprise detrimental to the public well-being. To respect and hold in confidence all information of a confidential nature obtained in the course of professional services, unless required by law to divulge such information. To use social media in a responsible and professional manner that does not discredit, dishonor, or embarrass an EMS as an organization. Co-workers, other healthcare practitioners, patients, individuals, or the community at large, to maintain professional competence, striving always for clinical excellence in the delivery of patient care, to assume the responsibility in holding the standards of professional practice and education, to accept individual accountability for professional actions and judgment, both independent and independent emergency functions, and to know and uphold the laws which affect the practice of EMS, to be aware of and participate in matters of legislation and regulation affecting EMS, to refuse participation in unethical procedures, and to assume the responsibility to expose incompetence or unethical conduct or of others to the appropriate authority in a proper and professional manner. Yo,
So help me God.
so help me God. There you go. And names. We'll start with you. I knew you, Brandon. I thought you were graduating again. That's okay. I'm sorry. And then Chris and Rebecca, Michael, and Jason. This is our professional team, guys. We couldn't be more proud of where they're at today than where we were at 6 years ago. We have the training and the ability to be able to make our professionals better each and every day. And the opportunities that are given from this court to be able to keep the public safe and healthy. And I can't thank this court enough for the opportunities over the last almost 7 years now to be able to take our EMS team from literally 3 paramedics and 4 ambulances to, help Vera here a little bit, 12 ambulances, of which we got 10 running, Vera, okay? And 14 paramedics. Can't say enough about this service and where we're at. Other communities reach out to us as an example now of how we've done this. Sherry's not here, but on the billing side of it, we've got a person that's been doing the billing. The billing was about $900,000 over the current budget from being able to have someone professional and be able to bill out what we do need to be billed. So we've narrowed the gap in what it costs to maintain a professional service like this. And again, I want to thank the court for all that they have done over the time. And thank you all enough. Can't thank all of you all enough for keeping us healthy and safe, especially during the emergencies. We were able to put 10 ambulances on the road when Hellas County never even had 4 ambulances before. So again, thank you all for what you've done. Go out and be good stewards of our community. Be great representatives of EMS. And you just got to remember, when you guys show up, the compassion that you show relaxes everybody at the time. So, again, thank you all so much. And any comments?
Thank you, Judge.
Are you sure?
Just real quick, I'm really proud of these guys, and as we celebrate these gentlemen and ladies' success, we currently have a full-time EMS employee that is in the ICU right now that was involved in a very tragic accident in Bullitt County. It was our providers that rescued one of our own. It is a little bit of a heartbreak for us right now. We're getting through that as we go along, but this is what these people train for, to make a difference, to save lives. It was out in the Knob Creek area, Magistrate Standard up there. I believe that's your district right there at Knob Creek? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it happened a couple nights ago, and I am just extremely proud of these folks, and I am, as a Bullitt County citizen, I am proud to have these people that would come to me.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, sir. Thank all of you all so much for what you do, dude. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Peyton, you take care. Chris, what's up? Michael, you be good. Take care. Bye-bye. Y'all have a great day. All right. Monica Miles, the Office of Disaster and Recovery and Resilience.
Okay,
good morning.
Good morning.
Again, my name is Monica Miles. I'm a public affairs specialist with the U.S. Small Business Administration. We're partners in the federal government with FEMA when it comes to disasters. The law allows the SBA to provide low-interest rate disaster loans in the counties that were declared a disaster by the president. The loans can go to the homeowners, people who rent their home, businesses large and small, and most private nonprofit organizations that were affected by the disaster. And of course, you had a disaster that occurred here not too long ago, and so that's the disaster that we're working on. The SBA's loans for a person who owns their home, which sustains some damages, is up to $500,000. With respect to a person who's renting their home, the end for the homeowner, again, if they had personal property that was damaged, such as their clothing, their furniture, appliances, a vehicle, the maximum loan amount is up to $100,000. And with respect to that homeowner that I mentioned at first, that $500,000 is for the real estate. Maybe something happened in the driveway or the yard, things like that. With respect to the businesses and the nonprofits, the maximum loan amount is up to $2 million. And of course, the loan amount is based upon what is needed in order to recover. Sometimes an insurance policy or a grant from FEMA is not enough for everyone to recover, and they might need to take out a loan. And again, the SBA has low interest rate disaster loans. For the homeowner and the renter, the lowest loan amount is 2.75%. For the nonprofit, it's 3.625%, and for the business, it's as low as 4%. Most of our loan terms go up to 30 years. Sometimes a business loan might be as low as 7 years term if they really could have gotten a loan on the open market. During the first year of the loan, no interest accrues. The first payment on the loan is not due for a period of 1 year. People just need to bring their identification, their contact information. Sometimes people move around as a result of the disaster. They might not always know their exact addresses where they're living. If they could just bring that with them if they want to visit the SBA in person. We're located with FEMA right here in the county. I think it's maybe a mile away, if that. At the Emergency Services Building,
Right.
Emergency Management Building. Loans can also, if somebody is a homeowner or a business and they applied for physical damage to their property, they can also apply for a mitigation loan to try to build back better in the future to avoid additional damages. And they can build back up to 20% of whatever their physical disaster loan consisted of. Sometimes that can involve retaining walls, sump pumps, sea walls, and the storm shelter, and other things. If they come up with an idea, they can present it to the SBA, and there's a unit within the SBA, that would review it, to determine whether or not the agency can support it. Also, with respect to businesses and some of the nonprofits, there's a loan called an economic injury disaster loan. That loan is when a business or a nonprofit, as a direct result of the disaster, is not able to pay all of its ordinary and necessary bills. Perhaps utilities might have been, road might have been closed, customers are not coming in, customers are canceling contracts, workers are not able to make it, supplies aren't able to come in, and over a period of time, the business might notice that they're not getting the amount of income that they anticipated, and they're not able to pay all their ordinary and necessary bills, and they can apply for the economic injury disaster loan. For a business and a nonprofit, that total amount of $2 million goes for everything that they need. So that's for any kind of physical damage, as well as the economic injury disaster loan, or whether or not they qualify for anything else like refinancing or the mitigation loan. And they can talk to their loan officer regarding that. The SBA tries to process the loan applications very quickly. Usually any kind of slowdown is a result of people not turning in their paperwork. For a business, they can get assistance with completing all applications or any additional information that the SBA may ask them to provide by going to the Small Business Development Center. We have them throughout your state, and people just need to Google that online and see which, put in their zip code and see which center is closest to them. And usually that communication seems like more recently takes place by phone or by email. You don't have to drive long distances to meet with anyone. So that's pretty much our disaster loan.
Okay. Any questions for Monica? Well, Monica, thank you. Thank you for setting up shop down at the Emergency Operating Center.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Monica, real quick, are you noticing people taking advantage of this, or y'all seeing traffic come through?
It's light traffic comes
Okay.
through. We're in the same location with FEMA, and so it seems like it's light traffic for both.
Okay.
But people are coming through. So.
How many more days or months, or do you know if you're gonna be set up over there?
I don't have a fixed time period, but both the SBA and FEMA kind of looks at that, gives people plenty of time to come and everything, and then make a decision as to when it's time to just close it and maybe move to another location.
Okay, well, thank you so
And,
much.
and to help you, Sean, last meeting we had with them, they were targeting July 15th.
Okay.
Thank you, Monica. Yes, ma'am. Okay, Keith, second reading ordinance 2517 relating to the 2025-2026 budget.
Thank you, Judge. This is the second reading. The first reading, we did get this back from the state. They approved this. Just a couple of comments on this. This is a 10% cut from last year's budget. What that basically means is in August, September, when you all set the tax rate, our possible tax rate will go down as well. So this is not only a budget cut, but a potential tax cut as well. Commonwealth of Kentucky, County of Bullitt, ordinance number 2517, an ordinance relating to the budget of Bullitt County for fiscal year 2025-2026. Be it ordained by the Fiscal Court, Bullitt, Commonwealth of Kentucky. Whereas the proposed budget was tentatively approved by the Fiscal Court of Bullitt County on the 3rd day of June 2025 and approved as to form and classification by the State Local Finance Officer on the 13th day of June 2025. Section 1, the following budget is adopted for the fiscal year 2025-26, and the amounts stated are appropriated for the purposes indicated in the summary analysis set forth hereafter. 1, General Fund, General Government, $8,893,215. Protection to persons and properties, $822,830. General Health and Sanitation, $1,051,620. Social Services, $200,000. Recreation and Culture, $1,346,434. Debt Service, 0. Capital Projects, $526,000. General Services, $962,000. Contingent Appropriations, $2,811,701. Fringe Benefits, Employee Share, $2,235,000. Total General Fund, $18,848,800. Number 2, Road Fund, Roads, $4,126,882. Fringe Benefits Employee Share, $722,000. Total Road Fund, $4,848,882. Number 3, Jail Fund, Protection to Persons and Property, $5,156,116. Fringe Benefits Employee Share, $1,805,500. Total Jail Fund, $6,461,616. Number 4, LGEA Fund, Protection to Persons and Property, $7,900. Roads, $952,100. Total LGEA fund, $960,000. Number 7, federal grants, protection to persons and property, $400,000. Total federal grant fund, $400,000. Number 9, EMS fund, protection to persons and property, $6,259,915. Administration, $2,385,000. Total EMS fund, $8,644,915. Forest fire fund, protection to persons and property, $2,000. Total forest fire fund, $2,000. Clerk storage fund, clerk storage, $130,000. Total clerk storage fund, $130,000. Dispatch fund, protection to persons and property, $1,992,914. Debt service, 0. Administration, $552,540. Total dispatch fund, $2,545,454. ARPA fund, contingent appropriations, 0. Total ARPA fund, 0. Opioid fund, $175,000. Total opioid fund, $175,000. Grand total all funds, $43,016,667. Section 2. This ordinance shall be published in the Pioneer News newspaper by title and summary within 30 days following adoption. This ordinance becomes effective upon passage and publication. All interested persons and organizations in Bullitt County are hereby notified that a copy of the Bullitt County Court's budget in full is available for public inspection at the Office of the County Judge Executives during normal business hours. Given the first reading at a regular meeting of Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 3rd day of June 2025, given a second reading and adopted at a regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 17th day of June 2025. And one other comment on this, the raises that you all have before you are in this budget, not specified, but they're in this budget. So when you pass this, it will be passing the raises as well.
Hey, thank you, Keith.
So I'd like to address something on the raises. Overall, I think this budget is good, but there are some raises that are 19%, 17%, and we didn't make a motion, but we spoke about having raises in a 2.95% range. And I think if we did it over time, I'd be more okay with it, but also some of the part-time employees start out at more than full-time employees. So there's example of one employee that started at the road department that's part-time for $26 in September 18th of 24 with no CDL at $26 an hour. And then there's another one that started February 28th of this year, 25, at $23 an hour. The full-time employee has a CDL, Class B. The other one has no CDL. So we've talked about addressing that for a couple of years, and we haven't addressed that yet. So if we can't amend some of these raises and kind of address that, then I can't vote yes on this bill.
Okay. Just to comment on the overall is within, again, you guys did vote for the floor, which was the 2.9. For the overall budget, it is between 5 and 6, the overall for the raises, which again, when you're cutting a budget 10%, to still be able to do that. So it balances out. One of the things that we've talked about for the last couple of years, and we're starting with department heads, trying to get folks to a certain level. Tammy and I have talked about this, trying to get her people to a certain level. Here's the issue with it. When you lose them, and Vera had a comment, and we changed that. There was somebody that she thought, because we were afraid we were going to lose them. We're trying to get to a level not higher than anybody around us, but within a level playing field, so that if we do have somebody leave, we don't have to, and we've had to do this in the past, where you struggle to find somebody. And again, some of these salaries are, they are for time spent, but also for, if those people leave, who do we get and how much do we have to pay? And so we're trying to modernize that. So that's the situation.
Well, I'd probably be more okay with like a couple of 10% raises over a couple of years instead of just 19 one year.
Well, and again, some of those folks that you're talking about, there would be a high propensity that they would leave, that they have other opportunities. And again, if we're starting over, all of you all have been in private business.
Right.
If you start over, it costs you more to try to start over than it does trying to get things to a certain level where you can hang on to people. So that's you don't have to agree with it, but
Right.
that's the philosophy behind it.
I understand. I still don't agree.
You mentioned in the budget, the money's there. Why necessarily does the salaries have to be accepted at this point if the money's in the budget? Does that make sense?
Well, because we have to set the salaries before the new budget starts.
Right.
Before July.
Salaries can't be set and adjusted at any meeting?
I mean, if somebody leaves and you bring in somebody that has no experience, your line item doesn't change. The line item will not change.
Right.
But if you did something like that,
But to prevent moving forward with a budget, I guess my question is, can you not leave somebody where they're at currently but have extra money in their budget?
that's beyond my pay grade. That is, all we do is we put in what it is, what was agreed. Now, again,
But you don't have to
here's
submit
the
exactly.
problem, and again, but you guys have had this budget since May.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this sheet
Well,
of
and again, I don't
And
have,
that's
I'm
the
sorry, I don't
question.
have anything, we've talked about that.
The budget's
I don't
one
do
thing,
that.
having
I
an
don't-
amount
I've never-
for a department, but salaries are different.
But it fits within the line items.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
why can you not move forward with the line item saying this is the amount for that department, but then there's flexibility in the salaries within that at any time?
Could there be a special meeting held between now and July 1st to address salaries and pay raises?
But I don't understand why the budget can't be passed, but salaries be adjusted at any time as long as the money's there.
With this,
I think the answer is it can be. I think
Okay.
they
But I think
want,
they asked for the specific amount to get
The auditor,
these
okay,
add up to what the line items are.
yeah,
And then they see this, they want this attached to the budget?
That's what the
Right.
last couple of years, that's what they've asked for.
and that's what they wanted, that's what the auditors told us that they wanted, Sean. They wanted the salaries attached to the budget.
But they can be adjusted any time, salaries can. Next meeting, I could give somebody a 10% raise or 5% raise. Correct?
With justification,
As long as the money's in that budget.
yes,
So you can hold back on somebody a raise,
Right.
but you can give them a
Yes.
raise through.
yep,
And that happened with the road department last year. We put buffer in, and they didn't spend all of it on some of the people they had, and they moved
Right.
things around.
Yeah, I guess my question is kind of like, we have looked at the budget, had it several months, but seeing actual salaries for the first time on paper, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
So is that, as a result of that, as long as we're comfortable with the amount of money that's allocated for EMS or whatever department, then at that point, salaries can be adjusted at any time. It doesn't have to be necessarily now.
Technically, you could probably do that. I don't know that that's, again, you have to be careful. I'll go back to my point about.
Because
running people
I
off.
have
If
to,
you run somebody off,
I have to
it's gonna
agree
cost
with
you money.
Brian. We've been talking about it for years, to keep things consistent.
But you all have to vote on that.
For the last two budget cycles, and that one's
And
never
when
been
you look at
addressed,
5, 6,
it's a hard time keeping
2.5,
that
3, 4, it's like,
And
if
if you-
I'm an employee, why am I getting 2.5, somebody's getting 6?
Because you have evaluations now.
we have evaluations.
That's the way it should work. You have evaluations, and you have a bucket of money, and it's a little bit higher than that.
We've
It's a
talked
little bit
about
higher than
evaluations,
5%.
but is
Not a whole lot.
that how these were determined, the percent of increase for each individual? And
Yes.
It was by department heads.
So the department head
Did the evaluations.
did the evaluation, so as
Correct.
far as we're concerned, the department head is the one that made these recommendations for the increases with each individual.
Yeah, that did not come through HR or through, like I said, I just put the number in the line item.
So if somebody had a problem in the road department with their increase, then they could go
Yes.
to the director.
Yep.
The director is the one
And then
that
the
said.
director would go to the judge.
Yep,
My question would be, I know you are discussing, we do have the budget, but I guess my question would be, it looks like we would have, if adjustments are gonna be made on payroll, that would have to be done by July 1st.
Not necessarily, because you do have
No.
turnover. So you do have things like, again, you couldn't go up on it. Your line items couldn't go up.
Yeah, I don't know what.
You have to
yeah.
stay within the line
But you
item.
could still have a cushion. I mean, I could allocate $100,000 for salary for one department, but I could have $10,000
And we've
floating
done that
around
for
for
EMS,
raises. or
and we've done
something.
that
You don't
for
have to
other
use it all,
Right.
as long as you have enough. So that's my question. You don't have to necessarily hold off on the budget. The salaries can be adjusted at any time, would be my understanding.
Yes.
If there's if there's cause to do that.
You-
then-
But that was the first time I heard when you read that by us accepting the budget, we're
Well, see,
accepting
that's a
these
new thing.
salaries that I've seen for the
That's-
first time today.
That's a new thing. They just
Okay,
started
that's
that
what,
like 2 years
It-
ago.
it's
We
totally
never had
brand
to do
new.
this in the
okay,
budget
well, I'm glad it's
process.
new because I've been here a little while and that's the first time I've heard that was accepting the budget. I'm accepting the salary sheet that I just seen for the first time.
Yep.
That shows the percentage of the increases, that's where the
I love
problem
this
is.
sheet.
Yeah,
If
but
you go
again-
from 2.9% and then some people are getting 19%?
Right, and again,
Right.
those are
That's
people,
huge.
that is huge, but it's
Yep.
also, if that person, let's say somebody get 19, those are people that have there's a great chance that they would leave. If they leave, it will cost us more than that to try to go find somebody, put them in, train them, the time, Tammy's shaking her head, and you guys are all, you know how this
I
is.
face it too in my office. You
Exactly.
have to be able to pay professionals especially. They're not gonna stick around for no money. They're just not going to.
But what about the part-time people making more than the full-time people?
I've never understood the part-time side of that.
Yeah,
I don't-
I mean,
That's not
I don't think they even need the
Well-
COLA.
Well, they don't get benefits. Part-time folks don't.
And there is an argument to be made that it is harder to find part-time people than it is full-time people. That was always the way it was in the banking industry. We would pay part-time a little bit more because it was just difficult to find them, and we didn't want to pay benefits. I mean, that's the truth.
If there's one thing that I'd like to see change, according to this paper, and that's on Christie, they have her at 60,240.
Again,
If you have to send this in, this should be changed.
I don't know.
Because we
I
agreed
thought we did change it.
70 on there.
Well, that's what's in the budget.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It
What I'm
said
saying, we
70
have
on
to
the,
send this
on the
in.
budget.
I'll see if we're,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here it is.
yeah.
It
We'll-
Do you
says,
understand what I'm saying?
No, I get that 100%.
it says,
Because that was one that we did address.
it says 70 in the budget.
Yes, but she's saying on the sheet, it's got a different number. So we'll make sure
Right.
that the numbers correlate, again, with the budget, because the budget amount has to be
Yeah,
what we
well,
spend.
that's what he said the first time.
So one more question. The department heads, the directors make the hourly employees or either people under them make their evaluations, but who evaluates the directors and department heads?
The judge executive.
I do.
All I'm gonna say is, I am like Brian, I do agree with you on the percentage. However, I feel as a elected official, I fail in that area by not taking care of things like I should have.
Well, I would say this,
Right.
having sit down with each one of you all were more, this court has been as active or more so as far as sitting down, discussing it. Again, that's why I try to get these things out in May, to give everybody plenty of time. Now, again, I don't mean, I'm not throwing you under the bus, Janice, but I don't see that sheet until it's finalized. And again, all I'm working is, I'm the big picture guy with as long as we don't go over that line item, that's my job, is to make sure you don't go over the line item.
And I was gonna say, next year when we get the budget to review it, I would like to get this
And-
as
and
well at the same
And I think that's a
time.
good idea.
Yeah, because this is quite a
And the other side of
surprise.
it is, if you all want a cap, you need to vote on that, so that we do, and again, I try to keep everything within that, because
Right.
we knew we had to cut. So again, you do a 10% cut, you still have between a 5 and a 6% overall raise for everybody, which again, should keep people happy. Some got less than others, but that's why you have evaluations.
If somebody gets a 19% raise and somebody gets a 2.9% raise, we feel comfortable that we can justify based on their evaluation
But
sheet.
that's the way evaluations are supposed
Oh,
to
yeah,
work. Yes.
absolutely, Sean.
Okay, because I mean, I would be upset.
Well-
But if somebody told me that based on my reviews, and could show me why I didn't deserve a 19 versus somebody else.
Most people, and again, I'm going back to the private sector, most people, and I've done a lot of evaluations. Now, I don't do evaluations here. I'm not part of that process. However, when I did those in the past, when I would give a lower or no raise to somebody, they would be upset, but they were not surprised.
Yep.
Add on to what I said, and that goes, we discussed these things at a meeting, and that we did not make that motion.
Right.
And that's where I feel like I failed.
But, and again, now you know what you all want to do for next year.
Keep going forward.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad, I don't think that's a bad plan. That way, and it, honestly, it makes our job easier.
Yep.
I think you learn every year.
It's true.
I learned.
And again, DLG changed the rules.
Right.
But we
We've
can
got
make
to,
a motion in this
we've got to
meeting
go along
for
with
a
that.
special
It's,
meeting
you know, a
because
lot of the
for some
things that
reason-
come out of Frankfurt
Right.
change things. They want you to change them right away. So you kind of live on the fly.
But on the budget, as long as we don't go over those line items, they could be adjusted down. Just the budget can't go over.
That's, yes,
Yep.
it cannot go over the budget.
So if I make a motion for a special meeting for July 1st, then we can have a special meeting on salaries and rates, pay rates.
I don't think we can,
In this particular case, my understanding is they can't go up, they can go down. The money's already there to cover everything that's on this
Right.
sheet. So, I mean, if there was discussion, you could move forward with the budget, but I don't understand, but that's new, so I didn't know that. That's
you
the
would
first
have to
time.
get.
I mean, I'm okay with 100% with the budget,
Like, for
but there's
instance,
a
somebody
blanket
that had
down
the
there.
19%, if you came in and said, I don't want them to have that, and I think the judge, I'm not going to speak for him, but I think he would say, absolutely not, we're going forward with that because we will lose him and it will cost us way more money, and I would agree with that. You and I had that conversation.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, that, you would be at a stalemate with that one.
I'm curious as to his comment. Chris back there?
I don't know if this is helpful or not. Last year, we were tasked with kind of making our payroll or our salaries fit with the job descriptions. And we noticed a lot of disparity between different positions in our staff. So last year, we had some that jumped around 10%, 19%. We had someone that worked here for 25 years and was making less than someone that's been here for a year. So that person was put in a position where they weren't making money. Why not quit and come back? Well, so with that, we adjusted their salaries by a larger percent to make that disparity not there. So I don't know if that helps you all or with this 19% versus 2.5. That's what we did last year.
I think they should all be comparative, you know what I'm saying? But when I brought up about part-time raises a few meetings back, you know, and I asked if your part-time people made more than your full-time people because they don't have benefits, you said they don't. Wasn't that correct? That if you're an EMT part-time or EMT full-time, you make the same starting salary isn't it? Or same starting pay rate.
For us, yeah. But I do understand there are other services, other departments, other
Right.
industries that pay their part-time more than
Yeah, it just gets confusing actually seeing this document at the same time that we're passing the budget, because in the EMS alone, we talk about consistency, but I'm getting bored of counting, but I've counted over 9 different increases. You know, 9 different increases.
But again, that's the way it should be with
3.08, 3.57, 3.05.
But that's an evaluation process.
That's what?
That's the
It's an
evaluation
evaluation.
process. And again, you should have a bucket of money, and like I said, in the budget, I try to stay within that.
Okay.
5% is usually but I think you have to make a vote on that where you have, this is the cap. You can cap it, and that way, everything would stay and make our life easier. But again, some of these are all over the place because and again, the across the board, you know, if everybody, back in the old days, everybody get a $2 an hour raise. Brian, you remember that?
50 cents.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
and some of it.
And not every year, maybe once every 5 years.
But you would whatever you got was across the board. That is a disincentive. That's why we went to what we're doing now.
Right.
Now, again, does it have to be tweaked? Yes. Does the way the state has asked us to do this now? That's different. That's different. And we're trying to figure that one out too.
And it's demoralizing to your employees who work extra hard.
It is.
Who they know doesn't work as
Yep.
And those are the ones, that have an opportunity to leave,
and they will.
and then you're,
I face it too,
I
they will.
know, we talked about that. So it's a catch-22, it's a bad deal, but there are ways to go forward with this.
Yeah, and to help you a little bit, Brian, what we can do, part-time people from now on, we can literally not pay them as much. That's the way y'all feel about it. I mean, they get no benefits. They're part-time.
I'm okay
So-
with them making the same as a full-time, just not more, $3 more. Starting out part-time, $3 more than a full-time.
Yeah, and I don't know how that
I think
happened.
we talked about that before, and we
Right.
gave that
The last
full-time
two
person
budgets,
maybe an
I guess,
option to
we
waive
never did.
benefit, but I don't know if that was possible.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I feel.
Well, and to help you, Brian, they were all approved through court. So all those were approved through court. They just wasn't, we don't hire anybody without it not being approved through the fiscal court.
I understand, but like I look at qualifications too, like we're talking about the road department. Some people have a Class B, so they can drive a dump truck. Some people don't, so they can't. All they can do is basically do the mowing tractor or general labor, and we're using the inmates for a lot of the general labor. So I don't see why they should make $3 more than a guy that's been there 15, 20 years.
Okay. Well, that's something we can move forward on, and we will. So I'm gonna make a motion that we pass the budget as presented.
I'll second it.
I got a second by First District Magistrate Sanders. Sam, call the roll.
Sanders,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flemel,
No,
Judge Summers,
Yes,
motion carried.
thank you.
Thank you all,
Thank you,
thank you
Keith.
all.
We do need one more thing, though, I think my salary has to be voted on
Yeah.
separately.
Right,
And mine is just a 2.9%, but that's set by statute.
okay.
19,
More-
not 19.
Again, somebody voted on that.
Yeah.
Somebody voted to keep you at where you are.
Yes, somebody above all of us voted to do
Okay,
that.
all right.
But so my salary is gonna be, if you'll
That's
approve
right.
it, 63,594, retroactive to January 1st of this year, if y'all would approve, that's a 2.9%, and it has to be voted separately.
All right. I'm gonna put that in the form of a motion to approve the county attorney's salary with the increase is 2.9, whatever that value turns out to be on the existing salary.
I'll second.
I got a second by Third District Magistrate Johnson. Sam, call the roll.
Logston,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flemel,
yes.
Judge Summers,
Yes,
Sanders,
Yes.
motion carried.
thank you all. The discussion's productive. First reading of not a zoning ordinance, of ordinance 25-18, street legal vehicles.
And Judge, if we want to discuss this, we need a motion to bring it off the table. It was tabled.
Oh,
last
yeah,
night,
yeah,
so we
that's
need a
right,
motion.
yep, yep.
I'll make a motion.
I'm
But
gonna
I
make a
didn't
motion
bring
to
it
bring this ordinance off of the table, 25-18, street legal vehicles.
Tammy, before you start reading or anything, can I have some discussion?
Well, we need to vote on the motion to bring it off the table before we talk.
Okay, I'll second.
Sam, call the roll.
Johnson,
Yes.
Flemel,
Yes.
Judge Summers,
Yes,
Sanders,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes.
motion carried.
thank you.
Can we have a small moment just?
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely,
I need to know
you
how
sure
you want to
can.
proceed on section
Okay.
2 before we read it.
Okay.
Right.
Here, I want to just throw this out there. I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and we talked, had discussion about this last meeting. One of the things that I want to bring up and maybe make a suggestion to the court, but I'll be inclined to go whatever direction. But it's my understanding there's a date coming up very soon that we can opt in. At that point, this becomes effective.
27.
I haven't had very many people reach out either for or either against this particular thing. Now, I've got my personal views on this. I own a side-by-side myself. I think that this originally bill was introduced, and I love riding my side-by-side, but I think this bill was originally introduced for areas that were much, much, much more rural than what Bullitt County is right now. That doesn't say that I'm against it by any means. I will say that I've thought heavily about this, and I feel like that if I did move forward, that it would be restricted to 35-mile-per-hour zones or less. That's my personal opinion, because I just don't see side-by-sides running up and down 44 and major highways
It is, yeah.
that are extremely congested. I do feel the technology in
Yeah.
side-by-sides and these utility vehicles are far past things in the past. And I do understand all the restrictions that would follow and come along with it, turn signal, safety, roll bar, all that stuff. But what my recommendation to the court would be is if I'm understanding this right, that we have the ability to opt in right now as soon as this goes effective. I'm not necessarily for it, I'm not necessarily against it, but what my recommendation would be is because the gate's open in the race, why do we have to be the first horse out of the gates? Could we just sit on our hands and remain idle for a moment and see how this plays out in other areas and communities that may be similar to our size? Why be the first one to allow it? Because I think once we allow it, we've opened that gate and it's hard to close the gate and change it. But I'm not totally against it by any means, but I think there's a place for it and there's not a place for this type of activity. And I don't want to say I'm against it, but I don't want to say I'm 100% for it. So my recommendation would be, why make a decision because there's a date that says you can do it immediately that day, instead of just setting back and seeing what other communities and cities are doing and seeing how it is actually accepted, see what other people do, and then make a wise, educated decision whether it's best for our community. That would be my recommendation, to not do anything, to not approve it, but not shoot it down at this point, and let's see what happens in other areas before we are the first one to say, hey, we allow side-by-sides all over the county. That's my
Of course you all can do that. It's entirely up to this court. You
Okay.
don't have to do anything on it.
That's just my recommendation. I'm open to hear anything from anybody else.
No deadline. You don't have to, no, you don't have to.
We
do
could decide we want to do this 4 months down the road, 6 months down, a year down the road. But is that correct?
Yeah.
We don't have to opt in and miss a window of not being able to do it or do it. We can just sit back and do no action, see how it plays out other areas, and then make a wise decision. That would be my
And
recommendation.
then the cities aren't able to do anything. They're at a
No,
standstill.
no, they're
until
in a standstill until we do
something.
something, but.
But I haven't heard from anybody
They-
either, but I don't expect to until you put it on the website.
That's just my recommendation. I'm open to hear other people's thoughts and opinions, but before you go through reading, I just wanted to kind of express my thoughts is why do anything right now just because we can? Why don't we sit back and just see how this plays out other areas and then make a decision?
I have to agree with Sean.
So Tammy, there's no date that we have to opt in, or Kevin?
I believe so.
Okay. On the street legal. I just wanted to make sure, I mean, the KRS was so long, and I could have missed it if
If
there
you
was
tell
an
me
opt-in
nothing, then
date.
it just can't happen in Bullitt County until you all take some kind of action.
Okay, and so, do we need to poll the cities or poll Walt, or,
Judge, here's, and just for clarification, I would like to say, as of whatever date that is, June 17th, July 1st, I'm sorry,
June 27th.
June 27th. June 28th, the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office is going to be open for business to inspect UTVs, state law. So if somebody, let's say, the county that contains the Big South Fork of the Cumberland River,
sure,
way over in southeast Kentucky. Let's say they take and determine that they're going to allow UTVs to go on certain roads. Somebody in Bullitt County that lives in Bullitt County can come to the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office, have their UTV inspected, and if it passes inspection, then they would leave and they would go over to the county clerk's office and they would be able to get a motorcycle license to go on the back of that UTV. And then it could be driven in hauled to that county, and I can't remember what the Dadburn County's name is, but down there in southeast Kentucky, and they can ride it on the streets and roads that they allow for them to do it down there. It won't, and so we're gonna do that, that's the state law on it, and
It
then the
doesn't mean
rest
you
of
can
it.
operate it in Bullitt County. That's what
Right.
Bill's trying to say.
yeah,
Like having a boat, but taking it to
Exactly.
nowhere
Yeah.
or whatever.
okay, all right. Thank you, Walt. So, you want to put that in the form of a motion to table it until, not table again, but to take no action on it until,
But as long, I mean, I can put that in motion. I'd like to, Brian, Karen, what's your thoughts?
I'm okay with doing it like that. I think it more affects places like that, recreational areas, talking about Eastern Kentucky. That's where it's going to be an issue. Here, I don't.
Yeah, and that's where the bill originated, I know, because, you know, and I know a lot of people have done it, and I've been to some of those parks. They have hotels and they have tourism and stuff right there connected where you can ride the park and drive into town. And we don't have an ATV park in Bullitt County currently. Not to say that wouldn't happen in the future, but I just feel like we're in a totally different situation. And like I said, I'm not against it totally, but I just want to, I don't know why we got to be the first one to say, let's do it. And then it's harder to pull back the reins when you're running. So that's my thought is, and I'd like to put in the form of a motion, no action is taken at this point on
ordinance.
518.
There you go. It's 25.
On ordinance 25-18,
18, yeah.
no action is taken currently this time.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Second District Magistrate Logsdon, a second by First District Magistrate Sanders to not take, there is no action taken on zoning, not zoning ordinance, ordinance 25-18, street legal vehicles. Any other discussion? Sam, call roll, please.
Fleenel,
Yes.
Judge Summers,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Logston.
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you. Charlie? The Lincoln Trail Area Development District Community and Economic Development Engineering Services Agreement. We talked about that in the last budget, and we're wanting to increase it in this one, or renew it.
Renew and increase. So we currently use the consulting line item for Jacoby Toombs and Lands, which helped us with the commercial plan reviews
Yep.
prior to hiring Logan. And we've also used it for Strand, which has helped us with MS4 reporting. But now we've got Logan, so using Jacoby Toombs will decrease, and has greatly decreased. They've just got a handful of projects left that they're working on. And the MS4 reporting will fall to Lincoln Trail. So
Okay.
bulk of this will go toward Lincoln Trail to help us with MS4 and land disturbance activities.
Okay.
I do have a couple of questions, Charlie. 2D, will they answer phones to the citizen calls them directly? They won't answer the phone and talk to them and tell them?
So
How's that work?
so if there's any complaints, it'll come to us.
The complaints will come to you first?
Yeah, and then we'll filter out, because a lot of times those complaints are not gonna rise to the level of them investigating. So we'll filter out the ones that are not gonna rise to that level, and then we'll enlist their assistance when needed.
Okay, because when I read it, it says answer phone calls from the public, so I didn't know.
That'll just be if I refer them,
Okay.
if it needs more looking at.
And the next thing I had question on is number 5, that this contract shall auto-renew. Is that every year it will auto-renew? Is that what that means?
Yes, unless we changed it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If the amount goes up, y'all have to bring that before us?
Yes.
And we just require a written notice that we won't be renewing.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Vera.
It was just a couple of things I had read.
Mhm. Okay. Well, I'm going to make a motion that we accept the Lincoln Trail contract for our Community and Economic Development Engineering Services from Lincoln Trail.
I'll second.
I had a second by Second District Magistrate Logsdon. Sam, call the roll, please.
Judge Summers,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Logston.
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Fleenel,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you.
I have one question about it. It says Hardin.
Yeah,
Yes, okay.
that's where they're from. Lincoln Trail is Hardin and all the rest of them. Yeah.
So it's through Hardin County Fiscal Court.
Yes.
May.
They're the one that kind of started it, created like an alliance.
Yeah.
I just saw a few typos and that Hardin stuck out at me.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
There you go. No, Hardin is they're,
Hardin.
Lincoln Trail.
yeah, well, they offer services that KIPTA doesn't at Lincoln Trail. So, okay. The next one is the CAECO agreement for workers' compensation. That one's pretty cut and clear. And,
I make a motion that we accept the CAECO workers' compensation fund membership agreement.
okay.
Second.
Got a motion by First District Magistrate Sanders, a second by Second District Magistrate Logson to accept the CAECO workers' compensation agreement. Sam, call roll.
Sanders.
Yes.
Logston.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Flemmel.
Yes.
Judge Summers.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And the next part of it is for personnel changes. This is to clean up for the budget, for folks to be in their appropriate slots. Sure.
On the first one, going from part-time advanced EMT to full-time advanced EMT.
Mhm.
However, when I was looking over the pay at page 2346, that's more than what a lot of the advanced EMTs are already making.
That's because of his date hire when he was hired.
What?
Because of whenever he was hired.
So you
So
say,
he's gonna make more than the other people because.
I know, but he was just part-time. They don't receive.
He was full-time, went part-time when his daughter was born, and now that she's of age, he's coming back.
So how long ago was that? That he was part-time?
He went part-time a couple of years ago.
I just don't think it's fair to the other employees, because, I feel like he chose to go part-time.
So we don't take away their pay when they decide to go part-time, what they're making as a full-time employee, they keep that when they go part-time. So when he's coming back, he's not making more, he's making the same as he was as a part-time employee. Not giving him an increase or anything for coming back on full-time.
And then he will receive the 3% grants. July the 1st, bringing his pay up to 2416.
Correct. And he would have received that as a part-time employee as well. If you look on that list, it's got all the part-time employees, they get raises just the same as full-time.
I understand that, but that's just like going to, I'm gonna use this for an example. If you had an employee that's working part-time with the road department, I'm just using that as an example. And part-time, he's making more money than a supervisor. But we have a job opening. Do you think it's right to, I guess my question, do you all think it's right to hire that part-time worker full-time with the wages he's making? Because he could be making more than a supervisor. Do you all understand what I'm saying?
Do you know his start date, Janice, or approximate?
4/7/21. I'm just not real happy with what we're starting him at.
We're not starting him at that, that's what he's currently making.
As a part-time,
As
but
part-time.
his title's changed.
He's moving from part-time to full-time, correct?
Mhm.
There's no change in his position or anything else other than going from part-time to full-time. So his hourly rate stays the same, but now he has all the benefits that's included with it.
Because a part-time don't receive benefits, just your full-time.
He's making about $4 more than the rest of them. 3 something.
If you look at higher rates though, he's probably our oldest advanced EMT.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but, on the other hand, that's a choice they make.
I mean, that, like Tammy said, or, Mr. Griffey said before, that's a decision you'll have to make if you want to decrease part-time pay rate when they go part-time, or pay them less or pay them more, that's a decision you'll have to make. I'm just going based on
Okay,
I just don't understand it.
all right.
One question I'd have is, the financial sheet, this would be before the budget, so then you get an immediate increase, correct?
July 1st, 3% or whatever his raise was.
Yeah,
Yes, on the pay scale that I reviewed yesterday, was he in there that it's full-time or part-time?
But he's just getting what he's at right now. He's not changing pay right now. His pay will not change until 7/1, just like everybody else.
It will not change?
Correct.
Because it's,
no, it'll change 7/1.
Based on his evaluation from the previous year, just like everyone else's has.
so his will change.
Correct.
24 to 16 an hour.
Yes.
Where all the others are making anywhere from 20.09 to 23.
But they also didn't start until within the last year.
I understand.
Basically, we've already kind of done all this by passing the budget that everybody gets the raises or whatever, so, I mean, he's making the same rate, so I'm okay with it.
Okay,
It should help regardless if you all pass him as full-time or not. His hourly rate's gonna get increased to the same amount anyway. He's getting that 3%.
I understand that, but if he stayed part-time, if he's on benefits.
yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna put that in the form of a motion to change his status from part-time to full-time.
Second.
I got a second by 4th District Magistrate Blamel. Sam, call the roll.
Logston?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Blamel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes,
Sanders?
No.
Motion carried.
thank you. To be hard, Noah Lutz, full-time inventory clerk at $15 an hour, effective 7/1/2025. No. And yes, and we did, and we had folks leave. To help you all a little bit with this, that's a 24-hour day job. It's 7 days a week, so it's a little bit more than just two people. It takes at least 3 to 3.5 folks to manage the inventory, to be on staff for, because we're a 7-day-a-week, 24-hour day service. And we have to have somebody there for literally inventory control every minute of the week. So it's more than just two people, even though it looks, Jamie is more or less doing all the vehicle, when I'm gonna say vehicle maintenance, and he was inventory.
So after this hire, we'll still have one opening for that position, I guess, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
We did hire someone a couple courts ago, or a couple meetings ago, and that person never showed.
never showed up. And you see, that's part of the dilemma that we have. We interview folks, and by the time they get approved in court, they've done found another job and they don't show up. So and maybe we should be more clear on those who don't, because that way it's not quite the turnstile that the perception is with EMS.
I mean, in my opinion, $15 an hour, I think that should be a little more. I mean, $15 an hour is not really a whole lot.
Not when
Yeah.
you're handling drugs and probably a very important position. I mean, that's as
They-
important as any of them.
You make more in fast food today. You make more than that working in fast food.
That's correct.
Okay. Well,
Just to be clear, that position does not
handle drugs, right?
I just need to make sure the court understands that. That position does not handle narcotics.
Inventory, so they're on the computer looking at,
No, all narcotics, honestly, all the narcotics are handled by myself or by Director Hale.
okay.
That's to meet that's the rules and regulations that we set up because of the DEA's involvement.
Right.
Okay, then what is inventory control? What's their responsibility?
All of the other things, all the supplies that go on the ambulance, the equipment, everything that gets used by our professionals and has to be restocked, that entire room is their responsibility. So they make sure that everything that is being replaced is needed to be, make sure that the ambulances don't get overstocked or understocked, and make sure that all the ordering is done and received and is stored as it needs to be.
No, this is 7-1, Vera.
So it's still gonna make them pretty low.
With the duties that they have, this is, the $15 an hour is an exceptional hourly rate. This is a good rate. It's a decent rate.
And if you all vote to increase that rate, to whatever, we do have
Yeah.
another
I see.
person in that position currently that I would ask Chief gets that same raise.
I've seen that too.
All right. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yes. Okay, so can we take these as a group then? I'd like to talk about Kenneth Greer then, part-time EMT to a full-time, again, 7/1 of 2025. I mean, part-time advanced EMT to full-time. And then Ethan Shelton, full-time EMT, 7/1/25. Good young man, we interviewed him the other day. Ashley Conister, part-time EMT at $19.50 an hour, effective 7/1/25. And Zachary Thomas, full-time EMT at $19.50 an hour, 7/1/25.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'm gonna put
I'll
that in the
second.
form of a motion. I got a second by Second District Magistrate Logston. Sam, call the roll, please.
Johnson?
Yes.
Blemo?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The next one is Jay Smith, full-time parks laborer, $21 an hour, effective 7/1/2025. He's taken Ed's place, who retired. Got a second by Third District Magistrate Johnson. Sam, call the roll.
Blemo?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Johnson? Motion carried.
And the next one, and what we're doing, we're cleaning it up for budget purposes. Kim Foster, promoted Parks Director, effective 7/1/2025. Her salary will remain the same as in the 25-26 budget at $56,868.
We talked about Christie Orr, moving her to a director in solid waste.
Okay. We can do that we can do it at the next meeting, Vera, or even this one. I don't care, either way. We can add her as well.
Why don't we
Add her? Yeah. We'll add her with Kim and what the budget salary is. I'm putting them in I'm forming a motion for both Kim and Christie.
I'll second.
Got a second by First District Magistrate Sanders. Sam, call the roll.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question? So the Christie one, what exactly? is
Solid
the
waste
motion?
coordinator.
Solid
I mean,
waste
solid waste director.
Director.
Yeah.
And does that come with an increase?
No, it's in the budget.
Okay, so just
7/1.
Christie changed to solid waste director?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Johnson? Blemo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And the code enforcement, Logan Spalding, he's a part-time chief building inspector, effective 7/1/2025. The hourly rate's going to stay the same. We just have to change his title. It's at $46 an hour because he is part-time. He's a level 3 and brings in a ton of revenue for us.
Second.
Got a second by 4th District Magistrate Blemo. Sam, call the roll.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Johnson? Blemo?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And also with the movement, and Brenda Hodge, she's now the administrative assistant. She's been currently doing the job, administrative assistant of planning and zoning to administrative assistant of code enforcement, effective 7/1/2025. Her salary will stay the same at 48,300.
Second.
Got a second by 4th District Magistrate Bleemel. Sam, call the roll.
Logston?
Yes.
Johnson? Bleemel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And then Donna Etherton in Planning and Zoning was transferred from Office Manager of Code Enforcement to Administrative Assistant in Planning and Zoning, effective 7/1/2025. Her yearly salary is staying the same at 51,618. And there's a note in there, Donna has said she's going to retire 7/31/2025. And I'm putting that in the form of a motion to change her title.
I'll second.
Got a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson. Sam, call the roll.
Johnson?
Yes.
Bleemel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? I do want to thank,
We have one more thing.
we got one more?
Yeah.
Or the-
Here.
Second sheet. Oh, right. I thought there was no sheet somewhere.
On here when I come.
Oh, to pay the workers for cleanup days for June 28th and July the 19th at a rate of $30 an hour.
I'll second.
Got a second by 3rd District Magistrate Johnson. Sam, call the roll.
Bleemel?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Good catch, Brian.
Yeah.
I'd like to, while they're still here, I'd like to thank Mayor Dangerfield for coming today. I do have a couple of new visitors, old friends, but new visitors. And Sandy Higgins and Miss Osborne, thank you all from Fox Chase City Council for being here. And Teresa Preston from Lebanon Junction. Mayor Cabral sent his apologies. He got a call and he had to leave early. Brian, you have anything else?
So I'll just bring up where we went to the joint summer conference for the judges and magistrates in Lexington last week. There were a lot of good speakers. But one thing I did learn on FEMA is actually a grant that comes from federal, and then the state is required a portion in the county. The grant is 75%. The state is responsible for 12%, and the county is responsible for 13%. But they told us that donations can be counted in that 13%. Like water, cleaning supplies, buckets, and that.
Yes.
So I think that's something I learned over the last week that that would probably cover most of the 13% on the disaster.
Absolutely.
Flooding,
Yeah. And we've had quite the donations. We're making a storage place for it now for the non-perishables. And we did offer Laurel County the perishables, and they got 4 warehouses full. So we'll be trying to distribute them out to the folks that need it.
But that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Karen?
So, I'd still like to get the restrooms open at the Maryville Pool, to be used by the people that frequent at the park. We voted last year, but we still don't have permission.
All right. Well, to help you, we put the bid in the paper again, and we'll be presenting it to y'all to get them going.
Okay, what about the basketball courts?
Robert and them still really busy right now. Okay, we're not pushing back. We're just, the opportunities, we've had 3. Well, we've had a lot of other opportunities for issues out into the county
Oh,
itself.
I understand that we voted over a year ago to get the restrooms open, and they're still not open.
Right, and we're getting there. We just gotta find somebody that'll do it professionally. And Kim has, she put the ad in the paper. We only got 1 bid back, and she'll be presenting at next court meeting. It won't take long to do it, because the only ones who applied or who opened the bid was SOS.
SOS.
Okay, yeah. John?
No, I don't have anything. I do apologize I'm late. I had to run meet my sister at E-Town, and thought I could make it back up here in time, and there was a bad accident on 65, and so I sat there for 45 minutes hoping I was here. But sorry about that. And just want to remind everybody about Bullitt County Fair. It's going on this week, so keep the fair in mind and patronize them if you get a chance. And then Bullitt County. That's all I got. Thanks.
Okay. Vera?
I would like to thank everyone for being here today. I'd like to share with y'all about the Bullitt County Cleanup Days. We have a cleanup day for July the 19th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at North Bullitt High School parking lot and Mount Washington Middle School parking lot. And then on June the 28th, we have another cleanup day from 8 to 4 in the areas of Lebanon Junction Elementary, Old Shepherdsville High, and Nichols Elementary School. The event is sponsored by Bullitt County Fiscal Court. So if you have anything at home you like to load up, bring it out to one of those locations.
Okay.
That's all I've got to say.
Well, thank you, Vera. And a
Can I
touch,
add something to that? What you said, if my memory serves me right, I'm talking about the cleanup and things at home, tires are not included in that.
Tires
But, yeah, so if you could just kind of go over that, the things that people can bring.
These are the things they will not accept.
Thank you.
Yard waste, garbage, tires, TVs, items containing freon, hazardous material, or paint.
But that cleanup will be coming up next too, within the next couple of months too. They have a hazardous waste day coming up, and then they do the tire cleanup several times throughout the year, maybe at a different county, but there's several opportunities.
And it's nice when it's nice when you tell us about it.
Oh,
but
Just took two.
tell us what we can and cannot bring.
I mean, you can bring mattresses, old appliances, furniture, anything like that.
okay.
Thank you.
Anything else, Vera?
Got it up on the board? No.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I'd like to thank the court. The discussion on the budget's healthy. There was a first-time thing with the. It was the first-time item we had to add to the budget was the salaries. The auditor sent us a report maybe 2 or 3 days ago, last Friday, something like that. That we had to add that, and that was DLG through our company that does our auditing this time. The county fair, our EMA is going to be there. They're there for, they're going to give some demonstrations on how to use life packs and AEDs and all the fun stuff. We'll stop and see them. And FEMA's going to be there as well. They're set up right out front. And I would like to thank Kevin Mooney for being here. I wasn't aiming to exclude you, Kevin, but you're sitting in the back instead of up front. Okay. Who? Yeah, Tara. Thank you, Tara. And again, I can't thank our EMA folks enough and our EMS and our road department for what they've done during these 3 disasters. And we've got millions to submit to FEMA for our public, and then they're also doing the private. That's what they're going to be doing at the fair as well as the ELC. So at this time, Vera, it's 11:01.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I got a motion by Ms. Sanders to adjourn, a second by Mr. Blingwell to adjourn. Sam, call the roll.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Sanders?
Yes.
Logston?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Leamel?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.